Hello and welcome back to Core Farm. We are in February now, and we probably won't be in February for too long. We don't have all that much to do, as you can see, the crops are still waiting to be drilled and all that. As far as the plan, I mean, I think this will be alfalfa, because it would be nice to have this as one big alfalfa crop. I might put a different crop in here. I was going to put alfalfa, but I might put a different crop to help with the future purchase for any flour making crops. Same, potentially, with our old field bean crop. But today, I do want to focus on the field that we have intentions to buy. So if we do look, field 32 is what we were going to buy. It should be ready to harvest still. It is indeed. Let's get rid of that. Which means we can make a load of silage bales. That is the plan from 32, is to make silage bales and then re-drill it as a different crop. So we'll just make our way to the Massey and get that started. I'll do a headland and then a headland or two or so, and then get a helper on. Now I was going to purchase a new rear mower, but the problem is we don't have the horsepower to power a fully fledged rear and front mower setup aside from what we have, unfortunately. So yeah, they do require quite a bit more horsepower in that respect, so I don't think we'll be doing that. But this setup is absolutely fine, especially once we condense down exactly where we plan on putting grass or things that need to be cutting, so alfalfa in this case. So this crop here will be our main alfalfa crop, and I don't think I'll put grass or alfalfa anywhere else to cut, so that is good. Also, just to touch on, I'm sure you've noticed as well that this episode is now on Thursday. As I mentioned in a community post I did on at the end of last week on the Thursday, that Court Farm will now be running at 2 days a week, not 3. The reason for this is, as I mentioned in the community post, not poll this time, it is just a post, that between my business getting busy, real life business getting busy, and in the autumn, and Starfield releasing, it's a busy time. It's a very busy time. The autumn is always a bit busier for me as well, so I decided to narrow it down to 4 episodes a week, which oh right, we don't have access to this field yet, we have to purchase it. 4 episodes a week, which I think is fine as well, especially for this time, because I don't really get much time to game as I used to be honest, just with how busy everything is, which is fine. But yes, Starfield is that game for me. Right, so 32 is what we're going to purchase, and actually let's have a look. Right, anything sell worthy? No, we did sell everything. This is going up. This will be extraordinary when it comes to sell it at 34,000 just for that small area as well. Be very helpful in the purchasing of the mill in the future. Actually, let's have a look at the sales as well, see if anything new is there. You having a laugh? Honestly, I swear every time I buy something it shows up in the sale the next day. Like, I just bought that exact trailer for obviously 46% more. Unbelievable. No surprise there really. But yes, I have decided that this field is what we'll buy versus buying the mill. Now the mill is something I'm going to obviously work up towards, but aside from the rye that we put in there in the last episode, there's nothing else in there, and nothing else I have that I can put in, right? So I will look potentially at doing some more rye, or even just a barley or something that we can use for the mill. So 32, let's go ahead and purchase it for 143,000. Excellent, look at that, and fantastic yield potential. So what goes in here I'm not too certain yet, but we are officially mowing it. So that is what matters. Right, we'll get this lowered down and also fired up, and we're off. Fantastic. So I will do a headland just to help the helper out, and then we'll stick it on a helper because I do want to do a few other things. Now the cows manure is quite full, so I should probably look into rectifying that. Now, I would like to use a manure spreader, but I'm still torn on what to do about it. Now, I should probably look into selling slurry, but how much? That's what I should look at, slurry. See, it's worth nothing. And it's at the best price possible. It's a shame. We won't get digestate either because we don't own the BGA, and I don't think we ever will own the BGA at, you know, near on £1 million. But right, well, we'll have to look into it. I mean, I would like to use manure and slurry and all that, but it really depends on if it actually works or not. So what we'll do is the next time that we do have some sort of need for nitrogen, I will try this. I'll try doing a double application and see if it works. I'd like to think it does, but we'll have to see. Indeed. Right, so this field is actually not nearly as big as the other one there, but it's still fairly large, and I am very excited about drilling it into a new crop. Now, I haven't decided fully what yet, but I would like to... The crop in front of us... Now, okay, very quickly before we move on, I know probably a few people are... I don't know if you're upset, but I mean, in regards to Maize Plus and the fact that I've removed it. Now, I know that it was... it's a great mod, and don't get me wrong, it's nothing against Maize Plus. It's just for this playthrough, the fact that we can have the extra crops and a bit less faff is just really nice. It wasn't that it was a bit too difficult or anything like that, because I do enjoy the added sort of, I suppose, difficulty of Maize Plus. It just, with this playthrough, the fact that there was a nice edit, and again, it does come down to the fact that I had a one of my viewers, David Van Mol, he offered to make a nice little cool farm edit for me, which did include some new crops. I did mention that a few episodes ago. So I'll just set the helper off here. It might not be perfect, but it should be better than nothing. And he did make a beautiful edit for me, so I'm very pleased with how the edit has turned out, indeed. Now, which does include new crops, as I've mentioned before. We'll just look here, yeah, so we've got clover now, triticale, which I think is how you pronounce it, Silphium perfoliatum, that is something that can be forage harvested and put in the pit as well, and then rice and lentils, green rye as well. So a few extra crops. Really nice edit as well to the map. So we do need to look here. The manure is very full, so it looks like 10,000 is the max now. Poor cows have to climb over it. It's a tough call because this is growing. Oh my gosh, is it ever? I don't know what we're going to do with this. We have to use it. I just wish we could use it more easily, a bit easier. So slurry tanks, we'll go all the way to the back here and have a look if there's anything that we can get that's inexpensive. Right, we do have the Marshall, which is quite nice, and I do like these ones as well. But they are a bit more expensive, and they do go a bit slower as well. I think we would, you know, use the Marshall. 8,000 litre capacity, so it's not very much, but we are pretty near to the farm as well. But the nice thing is some of these ones can be equipped with a big old dribble bar as well, which is quite nice. So we might have to look into a slurry spreader. I almost should have bought that when it was in the sale. The big storage for it would have been nice to have. But you also need a muck spreader. Now there are a few options here that I've been looking at. They are relatively like reasonable price as well. The horsepower for the Abbey is a push, but I do like this one, and it is quicker as well, and it has a wider... Oh wow, that's just better overall. It's a bit heavier, but I do like the look of it, and it does supply, or it does run at a lower power as well. I think this would be the one that we would probably opt for. So even if it helps to get muck out of the cow's shed, little shed area there, I think that's the way to do it. The problem is, we don't really want to put Right, what I think might work... Oh wow, look at those. Now, we'll definitely do the blue there. Now we'll keep the silver on there. It's very nice, very, very nice. So we'll probably purchase that, actually. And a slurry spreader as well. So that we can get some fertilizer on the ground. The only problem I have with precision farming is the fact that it doesn't fully work with the organic fertilizer, and I've had this issue a few times. Not really an issue per se, but what I want to do is, for example, let's look at this field just very quickly. We'll touch on a few things before we crack on here. Right, so nitrogen is at 25 kg per hectare, which is fine based on the fact that there is no crop in. Once we put a crop in, that is when we tend to drill in fertilizer. So we do have the fert spreader, so I might actually opt for a seed drill that doesn't actually put the fertilizer in. The one we have does, but you know what else I've realized with the one that we have? I don't know what, so it's the one we own. I don't know what I was thinking, but nowhere does it say direct drill. For some reason, I must have thought that it was direct drill. I swore it was a direct drill, this one here. So it's, well, turns out it's not, so we know that now. But I am considering just buying this one straight out, and then we don't have to put fertilizer in, which is fine. It does make it a bit easier, but I think the best thing to do is to spread muck or slurry as soon as the crop has been drilled. That way we can actually get the best placement of nitrogen for that crop type, and then fertilize after any remnants that need to be fertilized. So I think that's the plan. So in fact we don't need this just yet, but we will get a muck spreader here at some point. The helper is getting on very well, which actually leads me to thinking that we would be better off doing some rowing, I think. So that's what we'll do. The February month is always a bit funny, because in this case we do actually have something to do, which is brilliant. But usually we're skipping through to be able to... Oh, where's the ford here? It's up here. To get through to March, where we can start drilling. So just before we do, I should make certain. Now the cow's fine for straw, probably. Yeah, they're fine for now. Everyone is fine for everything, it would seem. Oh, wool, look at that. Very nice, very nice. Straw, slow. That's going to fill up so fast. I need to sort that. I need to sort that out. Right, before we do, let's leave that there for now. Yeah, the helper's getting on quite well, so we will get... There's so many things that we have to... that we need. There's just so many things we need to do. I need to row, but also I need to bale at the same time, and I can't do that without another tractor. So I've actually had a tractor in mind I wanted to purchase, but it's not an upgrade tractor at all. It's just another similar size tractor to help with any other jobs we might have on the farm. I think I'm going to potentially make a move on it. Right, let's have a look. How is the helper getting on? So we could wait, but that's just, I don't know, I think a third tractor would be useful. And it might be impulsive, but I might do it anyways. Probably by the time we get the tractor down here, this will be done. But I'm not against the idea of a new tractor anyways. Right, give us a moment. I'm going to do a few calculations, because we do have so many items to buy. We need a muck spreader, we need a slurry spreader, we need all these different things. And potentially a tractor, as well as a wrapper. The wrapper I do not mind leasing out again. I really don't mind. For how much we get from the bales, it's a very small expense to lease it out till we sort out our bale situation. So we'll let the helper crack on, and in the meantime I'm going to have a very quick look at a few things, see if we can afford everything. Right, so we are at the shop now, and we're not here for a tractor. As tempting as it is, I can't tell you just how tempting it is to actually buy a tractor willy-nilly, but we are going to focus on manure spreading. I do want to clear out the muck from the cowshed. I just feel bad that it's always there, and it is a mess to have to take out every time. Luckily for us, the bunning lowlander does have more capacity than the cowshed, so every time we run out of muck we can just go straight to the cowshed before we have to go into our reserves. Now, I do like the colour scheme they've got here with the yellow and the design colour. That is quite nice. But if I was to do that, I would match the wheels up for £200. You know what? I quite like that, to be honest. Yeah, it's quite nice. Well, I wonder if it could fit on the Ford. It might be a bit heavy for the Ford, but no, I like the yellow. I like the colour pop here and there. That's perfect. So we will purchase that. Oh, there it is. Right, standard. Well, I mean, really, we might as well do standard too. They're just massive. Yeah, big ol' extra wheels helps with the weight, I reckon. And it doesn't cost more, so that's nice. So £22,700. We will purchase this, and I think it's a very good purchase because I can't see us needing another muck spreader in the future. So we'll just line up to this here, and hopefully it can connect to the landy for transportation purposes. Wonderful. See how it looks on there. Yeah, it looks a bit ridiculous on there, but it will get us back to the farm, so that's good. And we can attach it to the Ford. Now, I was about to get a third tractor, but I think I'll wait, because the tractor I was going to get is more along this. Look at the bloody wheels on here are taller than the Land Rover. That is mental. Right, yeah, the tractor I was looking at is the same sort of spec as what we have. So I don't know if we should have 3 small tractors or if we should have our third tractor to be something a bit bigger, something a bit more medium sized, if you will. We shall see. We'll see how it all kind of works out. For now, we'll wait till we have a bit more money, and we'll head to the farm and collect some manure. Alright, so this looks a bit more appropriate on here than the Land Rover does. Once we get it all hooked up. Now, oh, hello. The helper was actually getting on very well, and I was as I say, very tempted to get a third tractor to help out with the job. But as you can see, it's nearly done. So this was a perfect opportunity to do something a bit different. So I think we might have to go in. Yeah, let's go round. So we'll have to go in the other way. Ooh, this will be tight. Ooh, that big bloody tyre. Very useful for something. Excellent. Right, so yes, we'll go in through that gate there. I'll just open it now. And we should be able to reverse right in to that side there, and it should allow us to collect manure directly into the muck spreader. That's what I've been told, so I'm hoping that is the case. So we'll just get turned around. Now again, this is just in preparation for March, because we're not going to do any muck spreading today. It's just to kind of get muck out of here. Thank you, cow. Please move. Oh, I'll just assume you moved out the way. No, my gosh. Now I'm really hoping. Oh, that's no good. Alright, it must be over a bit. We'll just quickly activate the interactive zone marker, just so we can see what we're doing. Right, you'd think. Just go a bit over to the other side. And right, really can't be any closer than that. Right, well that is unfortunate, as I know that for a fact someone had mentioned that this is possible. If it's not possible, it's fine. It's just, bloody hell, why would you say that it is if it's not? Unless there's some other spot that I'm not seeing, but it really doesn't seem like there's anywhere else than right on the trigger. So I'm going to play around with it, try and find the exact right spot, and hopefully we can get some manure in the spreader. Right, well, as you can see, we are completely done with muck. I have in fact actually returned and sold back the manure spreader. I just can't be faffing about with that, wasting time. It would have been great if it did work, and I'm certain there might be a way, but if anyone has any insight as to how to load... There were many comments suggesting that you can easily just put a muck spreader in and it'll fill it up from there, which is rubbish because it didn't. But nevertheless, we are ready now to deal with this field. All that faffing about with rubbish now means that we are pretty much ready to crack on with this field. So I have returned it because, again, I just don't... Yeah, it's fine. If it, I'm gonna stop providing them straw. So that they don't produce manure, so we can focus on slurry, which is already something that we can't really use anyways. So if we can sell it, brilliant. We'll have to go and figure that out. The muck that's in there, I'm not too fussed. As I said, the straw that is that we do make, I'm gonna essentially none of it will go towards their manure. I suppose we could roleplay putting it in as bedding, but then it'll produce manure, and I'd rather just not have to mess around with that at all. The manure we have in the pit, I will continue loading it that way until we have enough either to sell or to potentially maybe lease out or demo a muck spreader to not waste any more money on it. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So if anyone has any insight, if we can use the muck spreader, that'd be great. But again, I really don't see the point of muck or slurry when you are using precision farming, which really does make it very tempting to turn off precision farming as well. I would love to run a completely organic fertilizing setup if possible, but again, it's not possible. So that's a shame. But we will look at potentially the slurry spreader, because as you saw, the pit is very, very full. So we will sort that out at the very least, getting some slurry spread, which is fine. Again, if we did own the BJ, it would be a bit of a different story. We could just sell it, produce energy, that sort of thing, get digestate and use that, which we may do in the future. But for now, we have to row and bale up this field. Looking very good indeed. Let's see, we can turn all that off. Brilliant. And that's done. I think the sides are all good as well. That really didn't feel like it took a long time. It might have, but it didn't feel like it did. Oh, we've got a bit missed here. Just unfold it once again. So what we'll do is we'll get the yeah, I've got the Ford already, so we'll take the Massey over to back to the shed. We'll get this equipment taken off, and then we can put on the baler. Alright, as you can see, we have the windrow on the Ford, we've got the helper in the Massey with the baler, and we are collecting grass for silage. Happy days. Now I think what I'll do is I'll put this off into a time lapse, see how far we can get in the next little bit, and before you know it, we'll have silage bales. And after all that rowing and baling and all said and done, we are on the final little bit of scraps with 57% in the baler remaining. So we'll get that all dealt with, and as you can see, we do have a nice collection of bales in the field. I believe 22. No, 20, yeah, 22 with that one there. 21, 22. Let's have a look. 23. Oh, fantastic. Even better. And the nice thing about this is that all of these will be for us. None of them need to be brought for any sort of contract or anything like that, which is really, really nice. So, happy days there. Now, as I've said before, I will lease out the wrapper. That I don't really... I mean, we've used it so many times, I could have probably bought it now, and I don't see the point yet, just considering the fact that it is something we don't need all that often, and after this field, I don't know how often we will be baling silage. I think it will be in the pit. For example, when we do this whole field as one big alfalfa crop, I reckon that will be the best... Oh, where am I going? That will be the best time to see how much alfalfa we actually get, or how much silage we actually get out of that crop. Because we might see that we need more or less or whatever, and we'll figure it out. But, right, I'm just going to get this tucked away, because we won't need this for a while. Let's get the baler nicely tucked away. Actually, we might need it sooner than later, but we'll sort it out. Get that in there, because we might just, yeah, use the pit instead of the baler itself for wrapping silage, so we'll see. Right, what we'll do is we'll take the Land Rover over to the shop, and then we can lease out a bale wrapper. Alright, so we have the fairly standard sort of setup here. We will go for a blue. It may be nice that. Get that changed, because that is a different equipment we have. And there we go, 22,000, but we'll lease it for 1122. Fantastic. I feel like that's something that I can find in the sale. I'm patient enough to wait for it to show up in the sale. Leasing it for the price that we do and how much we get per bale, it just makes sense to lease it out. In the future, when we have expendable cash, then we definitely will purchase one once we know what we're after. Anyways, back to the farm. Alright, here we are in the field with the wrapper, and we will just get started, really. Get some nice bright blue bales all scattered about the place. We do have, it says snow in the forecast. That won't be, not till the evenings, that's fine. But we still have another 22 bales to wrap, and we should have automatic drop enabled. There we go. Now, the next thing is, after we collect them, we will be able to... Oh, sorry, after we wrap them, we will be able to collect them. Now, my thinking, if it works, I don't know, I have to test it, but if I can manage to get the loader into the pit, so that's to say the bale loader, not the loading wagon, but rather the actual bale collector. If there's enough room for the arm to go down and to load bales into the silage pit, then I will do that for the time being, because we can just grab them from there. I don't see us doing another batch of silage in the pit until, well, I don't know, till the alfalfa is regrown. The alfalfa outside here is going to be for hay the first time, because the sheep also need some more food. We do have lots of hay, but I don't know, I also feel like maybe we should make loads and loads and loads of silage bales just to be ready for selling, right? I don't mind making the bales because they are a lot easier to sell, but once we have an idea of how much food the cows actually require, then we'll have a better time sort of figuring out if we should do a pit for silage or if we should carry on with bales. Because really, I do like the bale system. I do like doing it like this. Although the pit is nice as well. If we had a bigger loading wagon, it might be a bit better. But nevertheless, we do have to crack on with the bale wrapping. Now, this is something I've done in a time-lapse before, and I will have to admit it's not really my favorite thing to time-lapse. It doesn't look all that great. It's a lot of camera turning to sort where the next bale is and all that. So probably we'll avoid some of that. But we have done a fair few of the bales at least so far. Oh my goodness. Maybe this bale does want me to do a time-lapse. I don't know. Anyways, we'll crack on back. See what I mean. It's like, where am I going? I'll start this end, just get all these done. Right, the next time we see you, because I will jump cut to the next time, and that will be when we're collecting bales. Alright, we are all done with the bale wrapper, so before we forget, and look at that point, we barely used it, barely even touched it, had it for 0 time, but again, and we do have lease to own, so that's very, very good to know. I forgot we had that enabled as well. But yes, we will return it, because I still don't know if we need it. Yes, I am paying every single time that we do that, but I don't mind, because it is done. And again, 2,000 litres of silage pays for that whole thing every time. I've never seen this tab. I could have been here the whole time, but I think this is all of the mods that I have enabled on this save, which is absolutely brilliant. I had no idea that this tab existed. Knew about all these other ones, but yeah, very interesting. Right, well, we are here now with our bale collector, so we will get 8 bales. We'll get them loaded up fairly quickly, I reckon. This is a fairly quick process. We'll get them brought over to the pit, because I would like to see if they fit in there. I know the JCB is in there currently, so we'll move that out of the way, and we'll see how it fits. Now, 23 bales. That's a few loads. We do have 8 bales a time, so should be all right. Right. Get this in here. Yeah, it should be 3 loads. The first 2 will be full, and then the final one will be 1 shy. So 7 on that. But yes, we'll get these loaded up, and then we'll see you at the silage pit. Right, so I was just... strange. I was just back in the JCB out to move it, and then... I don't know if you remember or had seen the episodes where I was loading silage the very first time, and every time I would load some, a little pile would appear here. Well, it's just happened again, and this was empty. This was 100% empty, and then all of a sudden, there's this pile of 2,000 litres of silage just sat there, so I scooped it up, and it looks legitimate, but it doesn't show up on here anywhere, which is very strange. That is very, very strange indeed. Right, well, we have some extra silage now, which is great, I guess. Bit strange how we've come around it, or about it, I suppose. But nevertheless, let's have a look and see if this gets loaded in nicely. Oh, this will be a bit tight to get in there. But I think that if the arm can go down, then we will just put, yeah, silage bales right in here. Because this is a perfect space for it. It's a nice flat ground. You know, it's like a bale pad in that sense. Oh yes, look at all the room we have. Absolutely fantastic. So if that's the case, I won't get too close. I do like the Anderson loader, which is quite good. It does put it in a straight row, which is nice. But here, we get this loaded. Oh yeah, look at that. And then we'll have room for silage if we felt particularly cheeky. We could probably fill the pit with some silage as well as the bales, but that is very, very cheeky indeed. Right, well, there we have it. We've got 1 load there. We've got just under 2 loads remaining, and then we've got all of the bales loaded up. So I will very quickly load them up. I'll probably do the rest off camera just to get it done, and then we'll see you when we've got all the bales in the pit. Alright, here we are, just unloading the last of the bales. Just get nice lined up, try and keep it straight on. I'd say that's about good right there. And... oh. Perfect. And there we have them. All loaded in. Fantastic. So that is 23 fully wrapped silage bales. Now, I know it is a bit cheeky, but if we were to put... can we fit silage in there, do you reckon? If we were to put it on the side, is that far too cheeky? I think so, but we'll try it anyways. Potentially. Right, well, there we have the month done. I was actually expecting February to be a bit shorter of a month, but if we can go through the months without having to skip them, that's also very good. So if we can get things done in a month, there's no reason to skip it, really. So there we have it. The bales are loaded, which is brilliant. The animals, oh lovely, got some wool there as well. Now, see how they're doing. Cows are fine. We will be topping them up. I'm very tempted to wait till this is empty and then let that go down as well. I know it seems not the best idea to do because it's just frustrating having that. So 40,000 we can't fill because the hay. So I'll probably let that all go down, which is why I'm saying we've got so much food because we can't feed them yet. Anyways, the slurry is rising steadily, so we'll probably look into a slurry tanker before I look into spreading muck again. The straw can keep going down because I'm not worried about the muck. We should get it sorted though. We should get the muck out of there, but other than that, it's been a very successful day on the farm, I'd have to say. And we do have a brand new field. And there it is, looking very bright green with our other brand new field over there. So let's have a very quick fly up just before we end the episode. Oh, right, there we are. So I will do a very quick, I'll show you exactly kind of what I'm thinking about where to put all the crops. So here we have alfalfa as this main area here. What used to be rye will also be alfalfa. So I'll keep this all one big alfalfa. The only reason I'm saying alfalfa is because we already have half of it as alfalfa, so it wouldn't make sense to re-drill the whole thing if we're going to put in grass or anything else anyway. So we might as well keep the alfalfa and put some more there. Now I still have to put a bit of a hedge in because we do not own that small field anymore, but we do own this one that I've created. So I'm thinking I might put some sort of crop in, maybe a sorghum or something that we can use eventually for the mill. I was going to do alfalfa, but I want to see if this area is enough for the cows and the sheep together. We have loads of fields, so it's not like we can't put more alfalfa in. I was actually intending on putting alfalfa in here, but I think I will repurpose this field as linseed, because I do like the linseed and it's a bit longer of a field, so it might be nice for that. We won't really be able to access through here, but in the future I will consider putting alfalfa or something like that in this field. Moving over to our newest field, or one of our new fields here, I think I'll put in maybe beans, or like field beans, or lentils, or something like that. And then in the other field, or vice versa, I haven't decided, then I will put in something that we can use for the mill, like barley or wheat. So I have a very unofficial sort of list of crops and calendar scheduling that I want to do for our crops. But we will look at that in March, which is in the next episode. So this is where we end it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, a cheeky thumbs up, as I always say, really does help out the channel. And if you're new and you like what you're watching, feel free to subscribe as well. Right, well, until the next one, please do take care, and bye for now.